YouTube. You now have the site. You can see me. I mean, engage documentary mode. Yes? Sure. Good stuff. All right. I know, I'm a little early, and that's all right. Makes up for all the times that Sam's late on our regular lives. Let's see. Yeah, this was okay, good. I was just checking something. It's all right. Welcome back, guys. Hope you're well. No, stop. There we go. Do that. And then that. What is Starfleet? What is Starfleet is the title of a Strange New Worlds episode. Season 3, episode 7. That's just facts. But yeah, that's the name of the episode, documentary style. I thought it was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say it's boring or whatever, but I thought it was great. And we're going to talk about what you guys want to talk about in regards to it right now. So you let me know. You're in control. Joseph Barbato, why was there an NX-01 randomly on the wall? Because it's been there the entire time. There's the Phoenix on one side and the NX-01 on the other side. That's why. It's been there since season 1. Question answered. Glad I could be of assistance. Also, is it just me, or did they give the proper dimensions for the ship and crew complement from the cage? The crew complement's correct. The measurements aren't. We're going to be having a video coming out about that. It's improperly scaled. It's quite a bit longer than the TOS Enterprise, but that's another for another time. I see Eric Martin retracted a comment, so didn't get a chance to read it. So thank you. I guess I know my shirt's backwards. I know the image is mirrored. I don't care. I do care. It bugs me quite a bit because I never used to do it. But anyway, so don't complain about it. Joseph Barreto says, when it started, I thought I was watching one of Sam's Memory Alpha documentaries. Sure, yeah. I mean, you know that other people have done documentaries before Sam, right? You know, it's like an art form that goes back a long time. I'm just saying. Ozzy, the Enterprise is the flagship. Phaser rifles. The Enterprise is not supposed to be the flagship in this era, but, you know, they don't care. Olivia Julius, $5. What is Trekyards? Is it a web series, or is it Captain Stewart's overactive imagination? We dig deeper. Would you like to know more? Just Roberto says, why does it look like Enterprise got straight struts in this thumbnail? Because it's angled. That's why. And BJ says, the angle, but look carefully. They get wider near the nacelles. Neil Hammersmith, Foley. I need my Foley is God signs from, you know, WWE, WWF actually. But yeah, Captain on the Bridge. Yes, indeed. Good evening, one and all. Glad you're here. All 31 of you, holy shit, 31 to start. Awesome. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, comments, questions, concerns, anything on this episode. I need to it's fine. Hit the like button as well. We have 11 likes and 31 people here, so. Phoenix Gundam. Everyone asks, what is Starfleet? But no one asks, how is Starfleet? Or why is Starfleet? Neil Hammersmith compared to Stargate SG-1 episode Heroes that did a documentary style episode. I thought this is Starfleet. What is Starfleet was a little choppy. He's a young documentarian. He's not like experienced or anything. It's fine. Hold on just one second. Okay. That's fine. It's fine. It's all fine now. We're good here. How are you? All right. Don't need that. Grant McGregor felt like a visual attempt at Battlestar Galactica. Hit and miss feeling, but different is fine. Like the ending shot of the sun, as it was a still shot to see how pretty the sun was. Yeah, I didn't get Battlestar Galactica vibes, but I can see why you'd say that. There's some shaky cam stuff going on, and the camera's hiding behind things. Yeah, I get it. Didn't even think that once until you said it just now, so. Phoenix Gundam, also the Enterprise looks twice its original size, but it's still the same weight. Okay. Yeah, we have a video coming out about that this weekend. Probably 2 videos, actually, where we're going to look at that, so. Hello, Hunter Burke. Smart Smears. Messy episode, in my opinion. Feels like Lower Decks did this better with trusted sources. Asked some interesting questions, but I'm unsure if it answered them. I know this episode will be polarizing. Yeah, I'm sure it will be. A lot of people, I already heard a few people, oh, it was so slow and boring. I mean, you're either a fan of documentary style or you're not. And I personally love documentaries. Sylvia and myself watch a lot of documentaries, and I enjoy them quite a bit. So I don't have an issue with this one. I like seeing behind the curtain. This looks uneven, but it's not. It looks uneven because it's a little gray on this side. It's fine. Sorry, it's bugging me. Eric Martin, I liked the episode. I just didn't think her brother was credible as a journalist given the access they were giving him. I really liked the answers characters gave in the interviews, especially Mbanga. Yes, 100%. And I hate that this guy fucking just railroaded Uhura with, so, you have any good friends at the academy? Maybe my roommate, whatever her name was, I can't remember, something Cho. Oh, Emily Cho? The one that died horribly, awfully on the Cayuga. Did you know that? No, you didn't? Gotcha, bitch. Yeah, she's dead. I thought that was like, what the fuck are you doing? You know her. You have the hots for her. You hang out with her. The way you approach that question or statement indicated you know who this woman was and her relationship to Uhura. And then, what does it feel like to kill someone? Go fuck yourself. That's how it feels. Like another stupid question. But I guess documentary style, you gotta have those hard-hitting things. I just think he went about it kind of douchily. If douchily is a word. Douchily should be a word. Do we all agree douchily should be a word? I do. Douchily it is. I don't know. I thought he was a bit of a dickhead. So, until the end. And it's like, okay, you learned, you're hanging out with the crew now. You get it. Sure, I guess it's fine. But Fleet Pass with back $5. Never fear, Fleet Paw is here. Good, we're so glad. Destroyer of Fears, Foe of Olivia, Security Officer of the USS Trekyards, Chief Airlock Purge Officer, I have arrived. Perfect. Good to see you. BJ, before World War II, there was a difference between military and naval affairs, and the Navy and Army were in different departments because the Navy had far more peacetime missions, just like Starfleet. Perfect. For example, like Starfleet, the Victorian Navy did national security, maritime policing, diplomacy, logistics, humanitarian relief, science, and exploration. Cool. Yeah. I mean, Starfleet isn't all in one. It's the exploratory branch as well as the military. So Eric says, "Oh no, Fleet Pilot is here. Where is my get out of brig free card?" I mean, for a $5 super chat, I'll give you one. BJ, give me a tall ship and a star to steer her by. Phoenix Gundam, Pike's hair in this episode was more Johnny Bravo than usual. Neil Hammersmith, I love the armory. Fuck Rambo. The armory was pretty cool, honestly. Smart Smears, I will say I did find it boring. See, I don't understand that. This is a really interesting episode. But I guess it's either you like documentaries or you don't. And I really enjoy documentaries, so. Solaris, the long hauler rail fan, $2. It was okay, but could have been better. For fuck's sakes. Everything can be better. That's such a janky criticism. Yeah, moving on. Phoenix Gundam. I'm glad they finally doing a story that's more in keeping with thoughtful Trek. Yes. Smart Smears. I think that after Uhura found out that he was biased and had an agenda, I don't see why they'd let him film anything else. Because she didn't bring that to anybody's attention. Marco, I like this episode a lot. Very interesting premise. If I would have to critique a detail, it would be the flapping of the wings in the vacuum of space, but it's fine. They're not flapping to keep it afloat. It's for maneuverability. It could be for a lot of different reasons that this space entity is doing these motions. So I have no problem with that at all. Solaris says, and it was interesting how they showed the reporter in a previous episode. It's been in a few episodes, so. Eric Martin, a few situations seem like a 60 minutes gotcha question. 100%. 100%. And it was cruel, especially the one for Uhura. That was just a cruel thing to do to somebody that you're interested in and you're friends with. Not cool. Phoenix Gundam, also apparently the last two episodes with the Gorn, everyone on Earth knows about it, but Kirk never knew about them until years later. Well, we'll get there when we get there. No sense speculating about those right now. Charles Cassels, he asked Pike how it felt to see someone die, but he just watched the alien guide get disintegrated in the archaeological site. True. But that's a complete disintegration. That's different than watching someone die. Like have them be injured and die in front of you or die bleeding out all over you, I think. That's a very good point, but I think it's a totally different situation. Grant McGregor, hey, one thing to be positive. I liked the aliens. Needed that on screenshot to be still to show the nice detail. BJ, $2. I enjoyed it. Good. Smart Smears. I said didn't. It wasn't boring for me. I actually don't get that criticism. Did you say that? I will say I didn't find it boring. Okay, I'm sorry, Smart Smears. My dyslexia rearing its ugly head yet again, and I apologize. 1,000 apologies. BJ, what does God need with a Starfleet? That's a good question. Ozzy says, Pike did Kirk maneuver from Star Trek 7 where Kirk said, get turned off the damn out face. You mean, get that camera out of my face? Yes. Eric Martin, $5. Save me from Evil Fleet Pod Thank you. There's your get out of the brig free card right there. Eric. It's not free though, I guess. It's $5. It's fine. Yeah, I'll protect you from Fleet Pod, don't worry. Neil Hammersmith, you read Smart Smears wrong. He said, I will say I didn't find it boring. Yes, just address that. Ozzy, shuttle bay door was closed. Sure, we never saw the shuttle bay door, I don't think so. Captain Corky wasn't sure how to feel about Spock telling him he basically self-mutilated by trying to cut the human out of himself. Seemed a little dark. It did. It did. And extremely illogical. But that's neither here nor there. Fleetpaw says you're lucky he outranks me, Eric. Ooh. What do you have against Eric, Fleetpaw? He was over here visiting the other night, and we were talking about that. He doesn't know why you don't like him, and I don't either. Like, what did he ever do to you? I don't get it. Don't be so mean. Mark Lawrence, $5. Thank you so much, Mark. Great to see you. I couldn't help but think they did a documentary-style episode to get out before the main Axanar release. Finally, almost done. Oh, is it? I haven't even been following that. Are we finally good to see something, I guess? But no, it's not why they did it. They don't give a flying fuck about Axanar, I don't think. So. And Ozzy says there are 2 left in this season. No, there's 3. There's episode 8, episode 9, and episode 10. Because this was episode 7. So 8, 9, 10. There's 3 more. Phoenix Gundam also. Jesus, that shuttle was huge. Like semi-truck trailer large. Yeah, we've talked about that in some of our other reviews, that the shuttle, compared to especially the TLS shuttle, is huge inside. But then again, the ship's also bigger, so it's fine. It's all right. Eric Martin, Starfleet answers to the democratically elected Federation Council, not a king or strongman, so it's not an empire. Yes, that's the difference between a Federation and the Empire, or an empire. Mark Lawrence going to see TMNT in theaters for the 35th anniversary right now, so see you guys later. Enjoy that. Cowabunga. And wise men say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. One of my favorite lines from that episode. And they have 3 fingers, so that's why I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? Yo, 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 I'm a turtle, yo. I love the live action TMNT turtle movie. Fleetpod, $2. It's too late to apologize. Too late. Grant McGregor, so how big is that warp core in that opening shot? 2 football fields. I don't know if that's necessarily the warp core that she was standing in, but pretty big. Neil Hammersmith, I watched the Star Trek Infection trailer. My first impression was Picard and Data running around the ship in Genesis? Genesis. Picard and Data running around the ship in Genesis. What are you referring to? Picard and Data running around the ship in Genesis. You mean Nemesis? I'm so confused. Grant McGregor, also, I hope Pike and Kirk go horseback riding. Yeah. Fleetpaw, I don't dislike or hate Eric Martin. I just pick on him. I gave you what? Permission to. Oh. Did I? That's awful. Terrence Childs, I just heard the new Cardassian anthem and it sounds pretty good. The new Cardassian anthem. Okay. Grant McGregor, oh, what's your thoughts on the Voyager game? I see you can have Seska in her Cardassian form as a crew member. You'll have to wait until Monday when we do our live talking about the Voyager game trailer that we got. So, Mark Lawrence is getting theater pizza. Well, then it's going to not be 30 minutes. Eric Martin, son, we live in a world with neutral zones and they have to be guarded. I have no time to explain myself to a man who sleeps under the freedom I provide and questions the manner I provide it. You can't handle the truth. You want me on that border. You need me on that border. That's good. BJ, is the Federation Council democratically elected, or are they appointed by member planets they represent? Are all Federation members democratic? You're opening up a can of worms I don't know the answer to. I'm not into real world politics. I'm just not into politics in general. I don't understand it. I don't give a fuck. People can have differing opinions than me, and I don't hate them. It's a weird situation, you know? So, no, I don't understand politics, especially in Star Trek. I don't know how the Federation president gets elected. You would think that the voting for that would be astronomically brutal to figure out. So, I don't know. I don't know how the politics of it works, and I don't know. Neil Hammersmith, Genesis equals the TNG episode where the crew devolved. Oh, okay. Beautiful. Fleetpaw, Genesis, the episode where the Enterprise crew devolves. Thanks. Jamie 42, the closest thing I would say is like the EU not trying to be political. Well, Textical, hi Cap, just got here. I like the episode today. I found a lot of similarities with TNG's Tin Man. Nope, not until you said that. And now still nope, because I mean, yeah, the Romulans wanted Tin Man for a weapon. Never would have drawn that parallel. And even now you've said it, it's like, okay. Similar, sure, I guess. But I would honestly say no. But that's just me. What do I know? 44 of you here, which is awesome. 25 likes. Hit that like button, guys, if you're just joining us. And yeah. Could you excuse me for one moment? I'm going to let a few of these comments stack up. I'll be right back. Just hear something. Be good in there. Sorry about that. I'm back. Sorry about that. Did you hear anything? Did you? I don't know. I hope not. All right. PJ says Star Trek does politically world building bad compared to Star Wars, where from the prequels to Andor we know a lot. Star Wars is politically world building bad compared to Star Wars, where from the prequels to Andor we know a lot, to some way too much. Okay, gotcha. Eric Martin, did Cap get a haircut? take Ortigas's brother with you. I didn't get a haircut. I need a haircut. Ozzy says, ask Red from that 70s show. He was a Federation president in Undiscovered Country. Undiscovered Country. Yes, he was. Skeptic Stream. Why did they decide to make a musical episode of Strange New Worlds? Oh, God help me. It was a perfectly fine episode. I enjoyed it quite immensely. We're not talking about the musical episodes, so let's move on, because we've already covered that last season. So, there's nothing wrong with it. Neil Hammersmith. Genesis? The gaming console we played Sonic and some Star Trek games on. Yes. Skeptic Stream. I heard snoring or something. Then I noticed 2 pugs. LOL. Yes, there are indeed 2 pugs in this room. And they always snore. And it's always on lives or even when I'm doing recording. And so you always get the constant little hum of little snore machines in the background. Neil Hammersmith. I hear the snoring too. These dogs are living the best life. They are. Fleet Paw, member for 63 months at the rank of captain. Place your bets. Do you think he's A, yelling at quiet, B, asking the Admiral a question, or C, taking a leak and shaking it more than once? Answers in the chat under this. Anything more than 2 shakes is you know, it's fine. I did none of those things. But I did do something which the observant among you might notice. Ozzy, I think he had to talk to his son. Nope, he's not even here. He left like half an hour before this live started. AC Escher, I had to laugh when Ortegas was building a bike in her quarters from Garibaldi, like Garibaldi from Babylon 5. Yeah, I thought it looked more like some kind of hover vehicle. But yeah, definitely a bike type vibe going on. Yeah. Terrence Childs, when it comes to computers, the Federation really knows how to make them. Mark Lawrence, LOL Fleetpaw. Well, none of those things were what I was doing, so. Fleetpaw, I can be funny occasionally, LOL. Yeah. But no, going back to the shaking it. Any more than 2 shakes constitutes pleasure. And we're not in that business. Bonus points to anybody who can tell me what movie that's from. Eric Martin, member for 33 months at the rank of captain. Someone ought to tell that kid he is never going to get laid treating a hura that way. Some advice from an old man. An old man. You are indeed old, Eric. Fleetpaw, come now, Mr. Skeptic Streams. Young minds, fresh ideas. Be tolerant. Neil Hammersmith, this M5 unit must survive. And Jamie 42, risk. Risk is our business. That's what the starship is about. That's why we're aboard her. I'm the captain. I could order this, but I'm not. I don't remember the rest of the speech. That wasn't too bad, though, you got to admit. No, I liked the documentary style of this. I thought there was some odd placement of cameras. And those cameras could definitely help out in a lot of other episodes where you need to find out who did what and where and when. And yes, Eric Martin, you're 1,000% correct. It was Heartbreak Ridge. Yeah. It's a Clint Eastwood movie. It's fantastic, by the way, too. Yeah, any more than 2 shakes constitutes pleasure. We're not in that business. Good call. I'm glad you got that. That's amazing. But yeah, I mean, the cameras all over the ship, some on the hull, like they're probably just sensor things, but that's fine. Was interesting. I thought that was kind of cool. I wasn't the biggest fan of some of the camera placements, like Spock's science cam got a big black thing and like a little, just see his face on the one side. And I mean, that's a small thing, but I thought the visual effects this week were amazing. That space creature was phenomenal. I really enjoyed that. Wish we could have seen more exterior shots of the Enterprise. There was a really great shot of the shuttle in the foreground, then the creature, and then the Enterprise back in the top right over the screen. That was really fantastic. I can see where in a few spots where people might have got a little bored or kind of lost a little bit of pacing, but for me personally, it didn't lose any pacing at all. But I understand people's criticisms or why they might be bored with this storytelling. Again, whether you like documentary style or not. Definitely an Uhura episode for sure. Didn't really focus on Ortegas too much when it could have, because it was her brother that was doing this. I love the way she kind of just brushed him off a few times as the annoying little brother type vibe. Pike was good in this, really good. No Scotty and no Pelia, which is a shame. Pelia would have been a fantastic, like, hadn't it, oh my God, I can't speak tonight. She would have had a fantastic insight onto things being 5,000 years old. Scotty, who's also one of the youngest crew members, or at least the newest to the ship, would have had a much more different perspective, being like one of the newest people around. So I wish they were in it. I didn't even realize that they weren't in it until much later after watching it. And I'm like, holy shit, where the hell were Pelia and Scotty? Would have been nice to have them. So that's one thing that I think was missing from this episode. It wasn't a super satisfactory wrap up necessarily. Yeah. I don't know why I liked it so much. I don't know if it was just because of the documentary style format. I liked the story. It was very, very Star Trek, very Strange New Worldsy, like the literal definition of Strange New Worlds, having this flying space entity, which is also modified into a weapon. Now, was its weapon capabilities only limited to taking out ships, which I would assume would be the case? I think if you look at the kill count for the planet, for the war that's going on, one was at 9 million, and the other one was at 119,000. So was this thing designed specifically to take out ships, fleets of ships? Was it going to be used on a planetary scale in some way? I didn't quite understand all of that. I wish that was been explained a little bit more, but again, not really needed. So if I'm missing the mark on any of those things, feel free to correct me in the comment section. But yeah, sometimes I'm stupid. It's true. Ozzy, you want sit in that chair, Captain. That is risk sitting in that chair. Yes. BJ says, I like the dramatic camera angles. Some of them were dramatic and cool. Other ones were a little bit iffy for me. Fleetpa, I knew it was an Eastwood movie, but I couldn't remember which one. Darn it. Well, this is one instance where Eric has bested you, Fleetpa. Eric says, it's amazing how many characters have PTSD issues on this ship, but I guess it comes with the territory. Yeah, to hear all of La'an's injuries, fractured skull and like phaser burns and all that shit. And I love the sister, my God, I can't speak tonight. I think I might be having brain issues. Ortegas' brother asks her about the hand, and she like looks down, and it's fine, because these were the fingers that were like basically dissolved off her hand in the Gorn ship. So that was addressed, and then she even made the point of saying, sometimes I think I got this, other times not so much. So I kind of like that was brought into it again, because hasn't been a thing since the first episode that was even referenced. So 3 more episodes to go. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully we get an Ortegas-centric story. She deserves it, and she's also plot-wise ready for it, because we just had the Gorn thing where she's obviously kind of traumatized by that. So, but yeah. Eric Martin says, beat you to it, Fleetpaw. Who's the man? Fleetpaw says, faster Google fingers, I guess, eh? I don't think Eric needed to Google it. Mateo Vincent, this was a great one for me. It made me tear up. Made you tear up, huh? I didn't get that emotionally into it. Yeah, I'm one of those people that I care more about like dogs than I do people. So if I'm watching a show and they kill off the dog, I'm pissed. If they kill off a person, I don't give a fuck. You know, dogs are amazing creatures. Just any animal in general. They don't understand what's happening. You can't explain it to them. You can't take away their fear or their worry with words necessarily. So I have great empathy for animals. Humans, I really don't give a fuck. You know what? You can understand the situation, figure it out. Sometimes it's an upsetting situation, sure, but overall, generally. And this was about this animal that was being used as a weapon, causing a great deal of pain. It didn't want its children to be have the same thing happen to them, and it wanted to just die. It wanted to cease being a weapon. So it flew into the sun. I was like, that's probably best for it. Moving on. Yeah, I didn't get emotional at all in this one. Even the little talk that Beto, I think was his name, Beto, whatever, had with Uhura in sickbay, where he teared up about he needed someone to blame after his. Well, first of all, Starfleet took away his sister, and then his sister got injured. He needed someone to blame. Didn't bother me. There was no real emotional impact on me personally for this episode. So good to know that it did work and did help or get that effect from somebody, but I didn't get that personally. Ozzy, they did show all crew at the end. I wouldn't say it's all the crew, but a lot of them, sure. Jamie42, I think some of the camera angles might have been him trying to film without them seeing. Oh, absolutely, 100%. But not the ones on the bridge. Not the ones that say Science Officer Station, Captain's Chair, Tactical. Those were all the built-in cameras. So yeah, a lot of them even points out who is like, are you filming right now? Because the thing's sitting down on the table. So yeah, I get it. But the ones for Spock's science station, like it's 75% of the frame is black and then there's Spock. So as a security camera or as just a camera to document that station, it was very poorly done. He could have set it up, sure, but I get the sense that a lot of those are always on the bridge. So Neil Hammersmith, I thought the documentary style format is what made the episode choppy for me. I thought the camera angles made it hard for me to follow along because I'm used to normal angles we typically see. For me, it's the opposite. Like I said, I really like the documentary style. I just like documentaries. So I really enjoyed this new, fresh take. It's kind of like a peek behind the curtain of, it's like you're eavesdropping on the set, you know? I really enjoyed it. It kind of made me pay more attention, I think. So, kind of the opposite on you on that one. Fleetpaw, no, you're not stupid, Foley. You take that back right now, or I'll come up there and kick your butt. Well, then I'm definitely not taking it back, because you need to come up and visit again, so. Joseph Barbado, I think the next one is where everyone turns into a Vulcan. Probably, yeah. Grant McGregor, I'm going to get some rest. I think this was a decent episode to watch by itself and maybe an introductory episode. Also, looking forward to your Voyager game breakdown. Steam gives more insight. See you, Cap. See you later, Grant. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, we'll be doing that Voyager game thing on Monday for our live. So join us for that. Eric Martin, Cap is like John Wick. You killed my dog. Yeah, you kill my dog, he die. That's a shit-heel thing to do, is kill someone's dog or wreck their car. Those people deserve everything that comes to them. Textical. I like how serious this episode was and everyone acting appropriately. Pike was definitely in command. I even didn't mind him cooking for everyone at the end. Now, that end scene was very nice. And Uno was even eating a little cube of food we see in TOS. A little red cube. It was great. Joseph Roberto. Oh, if a dog dies in anything, I hate it. If I know it happens, I can't watch. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Yeah. Marco. Me too on the dogs. I don't care about humans. Yeah. We got ourselves a group of human haters here. Just don't hurt the animals. You leave them animals alone. Neil Hammersmith. Given the friction between Fleetpaw and Eric, I demand they settle this via Calafi. 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 Fleetpaw, there's no woman involved at Neil Hammersmith, so no Calafi needed. Oh. Jamie 42. I agree. The bridge camera stuff didn't work for me either. I thought it was an interesting concept. I just think the angles were fucked. I like the overhead one, the directly overhead one, which was really cool to see. But each station one, I think, first of all, if you had a camera in the station, it would probably be up there. So you'd get a view of the console and the person so that you can see what they input, just in case something sketchy happens. It wouldn't necessarily be tucked down here behind like a bulkhead where it's like I said, 75% covered and then like the face. Either that or the camera would be either up there or like right in front of you. But then you get a shot of the person and the bridge behind them, which is more of a theatrical shot, not really good for, documenting anything on a military vessel or Starfleet vessel. So I think honestly, up, kind of right, not directly above, but like kind of up would be better because then you can see the console, you can see the controls, anything they put in, like in the TOS episode Court Martial, where they had to zoom in on the captain's chair where he pushed the jettison button. You can zoom in and see what the person's inputting into the console. Anyway, that's it. I didn't mind the idea of cameras, but it would make a lot of other episodes kind of nullified because who did this thing and when? I don't know. Just go check your footage. So, okay. Marco, I think the reason I like this one a lot is it gave me the vibes of that excellent documentary episode in SSG-1 where the doctor dies. Sorry for the spoilers if someone hasn't seen it. Yeah, they don't know which doctor. It's fine. They don't know which doctor. It was the witch doctor. The witch doctor. Ooh. Yeah. I love documentaries. I've said this a few times now, and every time a show does this kind of documentary style, I always find it interesting and fascinating. Eric Martin, I guess this means Chapel is back as a full-time nurse now. Yeah. I mean, they lost Gamble. He died, but I think she was already back by then. But she was, the thing with going with Corby was only a 3-month internship, so she's now back at a regular post. Terrence Childs, this is an episode of Farscape. Is that ship Myra? I mean, possibly. Eric Martin, Fleetpaw, how about then? How about Denel? Yushi? What? Like Shran and Archer. Don't worry, your ear will go back with time. Well, you gotta cut off his antenna. And human antennas are lower, and we usually have a singular one. So cut that off. I'm sure it'll grow back, and he'll be fine, Eric. So But that's the way I'd approach that situation. No, for being one of my favorite episodes of Strange New Worlds, probably, it is an odd one because there's not a whole lot to talk about. I'm just trying to think, like, we don't get a lot of insight into Spock, saying that he lost a friend because he was told not to hang out with Spock. Spock's half human. We learned a little bit about his backstory, but we already knew it. But I mean, for new viewers, him running off and trying to cut the human out of himself, oof, that's rough. Pike just having issues dealing with asking Una, like, do you think this is the right thing to do, given our orders? Una was all right. Una was the same as she always is. Uhura, I think this is more of an Uhura episode than anything. Finding out her friend died in such a, like I said, a shitheel fucking way. For him to drop that on her like that was horseshit. And like, why would you do that just for the sake of your documentary, for like a impactful moment? I don't understand. Ortegas, we learned a bit about Ortegas. Saw some family photos of her mom and things like that, and she wasn't in control in that situation, and so that's why she joined Starfleet. I like that. I like that her brother was pissed that Starfleet took her away from him and the family, and so yeah, there's little moments, but overall the story's pretty simplistic. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's an interesting Star Trek story. The fact that there's just a space entity and such a, like I said, the effects in this are fucking on point. This is a great episode as far as effects go. But it was all wrapped up rather quickly. I think Tin Man probably did it better, if you're going to draw those parallels, because Tin Man felt like there was more happening. But again, with the documentary style, the way it was kind of chopped up and edited, I can see that maybe it might have affected pacing issues, at least in my brain. And I just don't feel like there's a lot of meat on these bones. But that being said, I still really enjoy it. Like, it's a really good episode. So I don't know what I'm saying. I enjoyed the episode. It'll be interesting to see where it falls after our complete review and breakdown tomorrow, which will be at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you can join us, please do, because yeah, it's going to be interesting to go through it with Sam and talk about it with you guys, and then see how, if my thoughts or feelings have changed on it afterwards. So if you can be there, please be there. But yeah. Eric Martin says, this was a character development episode and it was good. Starfleet sure likes to put captains in almost impossible situations. Yeah. I mean, and the Ortegas kid that was doing the documentary had a good point. Why is Starfleet delivering a weapon to anybody? Feels very not Starfleet-y thing to do. And that raises the question, did they know it was a weapon? Yes, I think the Admiralty definitely did. Pike did, because he did say, well, when they asked, why are we doing this? It's classified. So I think Pike knew. And that opened up the moral dilemma that him and Una were going through. So yeah, Starfleet does have a tendency to do that. Yeah, 100%. But Starfleet also doesn't have the tendency to supply weapons. And like I said, the numbers are fucked for the war, because I think it was 9 million killed on one side and 119,000 on the other side. So sure, you're helping out an underdog, I guess. But also, I thought it was kind of funny when she was in the when Trekyards was in the turbo lift with her brother. She goes, I don't know, we're delivering supplies to people that are at war, what do you think it is? Well, it could be a lot of things. It could be food, it could be rations, it could be grain, it could be infrastructure like building materials, it could be medical supplies, you know, it could be a lot of things. But the way she's kind of brushes it off, it's like clearly it's weapons. We're delivering weapons because we're Starfleet. So that kind of what made me go, huh? What kind of supplies are we delivering to somebody at war? Well, it could be a lot of things, especially for Starfleet. It would be medical aid. It would be doctors, even like. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Terrence Childs, wouldn't be in this mess if it hadn't been for the damn Prime Directive. This Prime Directive constantly gets in the way of doing what has to be done. Goddamn Prime Directive. BJ says Starfleet should deliver surplus Leopard tanks, HIMARS, F-16s, Javelins, Sidewinders, etc. Perfect, yeah. Jamie 42, it sounds like they did something controversial, especially with the classified and Pike not happy about it. BJ says Starfleet delivered weapons all the time in other series, from flintlocks in TOS to whatever Cisco likely dropped off. Well, the flintlocks was because the one captain, I don't forget his name now, was crazy and introduced weapons. So then Starfleet had to even the playing field and give the same level of tech to each side. They didn't give one flintlocks and one phasers, you know what I'm saying? So there's no easy answers in those situations, I guess. To whoever. Yes. Anyhow, what other points? Anything else we need to touch on this episode? I like Dembanga. Have you ever had to delete medical recordings or whatever? I don't recall. That's a yes. Anytime anybody answers that way, it's a yes. And we know that he did. We know that he did it on at least 2 occasions. So, the moment when Uhura is communicating with the thing in sickbay and says it wants to fly into the sun, and the camera's right in front of Mbanga, and he looks, he's like, it was tired of being a weapon. And he just stares at the camera. It's like, yeah, because you were also a weapon. Love his fucking service history, known as the Ghost, and like number of people he killed, redacted. Interesting. So yeah, it was definitely a moment where he was like, yeah, I'm also sick of being a weapon. I sympathize, because he does say, you know, it's not part of my current assignment to kill people. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. Eric Martin says Starfleet should act as peacekeepers and get between the two world's forces, not supply weapons of mass destruction to one side. Well, it was not a weapon of mass destruction. It's not like this thing was going to go to the enemy's planet and totally fucking annihilate a continent. This thing, I think, was designed to take out ships, or maybe small fleets of ships, with its radiation pulse. I think that's all it was doing. I don't think it was meant to be a weapon of mass destruction. I don't think it qualifies as that. Philip Goyet. Trek Culture's initial review was very negative. Glad to see others enjoyed it. Well, just because Trek Culture says something doesn't mean it's fucking true. Like, sure, they have way more viewers than us and more audience interaction, I guess. But just because Trek Culture says something doesn't mean it's true. Look, I love Sean Ferrick. I love the guys over at Trek Culture. I think they're all fantastic. Even their editor, Chris. But so many times we heard Trek Culture said this, and it's like, I don't give a fuck what Trek Culture said. It doesn't make it fucking doctrine. It doesn't make it gospel. So, and I'm really surprised that they found they had a negative. I don't even watch Trek culture half the time. So I'm really surprised that they found it negative. I'm really surprised at that. If you're watching this, because somebody from is going to go over to Trek culture and say, the Trekyards, Captain Foley said a thing. Look, I love Sean Ferrick. We've hung out at Vegas. He's a great guy. It's nothing personal against them. It's just I don't watch Trek culture on average. I watch the occasional thing here and there, but I also don't want to watch a lot of other Star Trek YouTubers or streamers because I don't want to get influenced. I don't want to parrot somebody else's thoughts. And so, you know, it's not that I'm hating on Trek culture. They're great. I wish we had the resources they have, the backing from the What Culture people. And I wish I had some people that could write me scripts and me show up to read them. That would be awesome. And just have a salary, get money for... So yeah, don't hate Trek culture at all. I just hate hearing. But Trek culture said, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that Trek culture said that. That doesn't mean I have to agree with it or think that it's the gospel truth. So that went off on a little bit of a tangent, and I apologize. So Sean, if you're watching this, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Philip, oh, sorry, just read that one. Never mind. Eric Martin, I have no recollection of those events, Senator. Yeah. BJ, Starfleet never watched The Untouchables. Someone brings a knife, you bring a gun. That's the Chicago way. Yeah. Joe Torres is here. Hey, Cap, thumbs up or down on this one? For fuck's sakes. Is this like the Trek cultures up and down? It's a thumbs up, 100% thumbs up on this one. It's great. Jamie42, it is okay to have a different take. Yeah, it absolutely is. I have no problem with the fact that they think it's negative. It just surprises me that Trek culture and Sean Ferrick would think this would be a negative. So, whatever, teach their own. I thought it was great. Our edited review will be up tomorrow in the afternoon, probably around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I say in the review, it's one of my favorite episodes of Strange New Worlds. I really enjoyed this for multiple different reasons. So, yeah. Teach their own. BJ, I thought the aliens looked pretty TOS, TNG-ish in style. 100%. They were very simplistic but great design. Even the background of their ship was pretty cool, and their ship design was interesting as well. So, but that was more, the ship design was more TNG for sure. Yeah, had kind of a ship of the week vibe. Peter Lukaku, great episode. Just finished it. Let's talk about it. Been talking about it for an hour now. Peter Lukaku, oh Jesus, I'm late to the show as always. That's okay. I used to do them at 10. I used to start them right about now, but I found that was a little too much, so I bumped it up to 9 for this season. So it's much better, and I only do it for about an hour now instead of 2 hours, unless the conversation's flowing really well and like super chats are coming in and stuff. Then I'll do it longer, but no sense. There's no need to talk about it for more than an hour generally. Although with you guys as an audience, you know, after like the first hour of talking about it, we get into other shit. And depending on my mood, I'll want to stick around. So, but that being said, I'm kind of run out of things to say on this episode. I just enjoyed it, and it'll be interesting to see how the review goes tomorrow, breaking it down scene by scene. So, Maro Bada, I am running out of thumbs to put down on the whole show. Oh, that's a shame. Fleetpaw, holy smokes, Joe's here. About time his ass showed up in one of your lives. Yeah, he, you know. I never expect him to be here ever, so it's fine. I'm glad he's here. Mora Abato. This, to me, continues to be an example of a series that seems made as experimental tool for directors and to take episodes to satisfy requests from the actors, as a writer in STLV stated. Yeah, I can see that, honestly. It is kind of an experimental thing for directors, and it's genre of the week show, because they're like, when a week it's a musical, when week it's a murder mystery, you know. And I think it's fun. I like it. But I get what you're saying. I understand why people might not be happy with that kind of thing. Yeah, I get it. I totally understand the viewpoints of people that are like, the season's just not doing it for me. Like, I get it. But this season for me has been really fantastic. I mean, I think the worst episode for me was the first one of this season. All the other ones I've had generally positive things to say. So, yeah. Okay, Chuck Jones, enjoyed the new Strange New Worlds episode. Have you caught the Alien Earth series? I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 so far. Haven't started watching it yet. Gonna wait till it's all out, and then me and Sylvia are gonna watch it. I'm currently watching Resident Alien, though, with Alan Tudyk, and that's fantastic. Fleetpaw, wait, are you saying you don't like it? Yeah, they're saying they don't like it. Joe Torres, been way too much getting on in my life, mostly not the best of times. Sucks to hear that, Joe. Hopefully things get better, but yeah, you need to come down and visit, or come up and visit sometime. I'd love to have you. Sean, I haven't seen you in a long time. God damn it. Welcome back, Sean. Looking forward to the review. Definitely a unique episode. Yeah. And it's definitely a polarizing one. You either love it or you hate it, it seems. So it's kind of how all these episodes are. And I think that's good. Because if they were making everybody happy all the time, you know, you just can't do that, first of all. But if you're not pissing people off, you're doing something wrong. So it's one of those situations. Fleetpaw, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I generally have positive feelings about the series as a whole. 100%. And yeah, I don't knock anybody's opinion. Like, I understand. I can put people's perspectives into my mind and go, okay, why didn't they like this? All right, I can see the reasons they didn't like it. I get it. That's why our reviews are great, because we address those kind of things and we point out the good and the bad in all Star Trek. And just because we don't agree with it doesn't mean that it's, you know, something that we just brush off, because that's why your super chats are important. Because if you super chat in, anything you super chat in, we address on the live and we do talk about it. So if you have a specific opinion that's rivaling ours, we love talking about it. Hope that makes any kind of sense. Briscoe Rob, I'm still not convinced to give a new season a chance and watch it. I'm still not convinced to give the new season a chance and watch it. Well, you should watch it. Fleetpaw, sorry, Joe, I was picky and didn't realize you were having a rough go, bro. BJ, by this time, Star Trek needs some experimentation. Strange New Worlds is doing it well. Without experimentation, Strange New Worlds might otherwise be just fan service for fans, or something just bad because of stupid showrunners. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. There's been a lot of Star Trek. There's a lot of stories that have been told. Some have been retold a few times with different skins, sometimes very successfully being retold. Other times, clearly just a cut and paste kind of episode. So I'm glad they're doing new stuff. I really am. I think it really does make sense. And I'm enjoying it. I enjoy the lighthearted episodes. Hypnoamber, damn, I missed all the fun. Jumping on to say hi. Hello, Hypnoamber. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. I can't speak tonight. I'm having issues. Ugh. Sean says, thanks. Been working. Usually when you're on. Glad to catch you for once. Yeah, well, hopefully you can make it more often, because there's a lot of names that I haven't seen for a long time, and all of a sudden they pop back up. So I'm glad yours did. Gestrel, 1980. Once again, number one has nothing to do and not many lines. True. She did stand beside the captain's chair quite a bit this episode, so that's something to do. Hypno Amber, I didn't like this episode. I would have liked it if it wasn't for the format and expanded story. As a blind girl, I could barely watch it. Sorry to hear that, Hypno Amber. I really enjoyed this one immensely. And I've said this a few times now during this live, but I'm also just a big fan of documentaries in general. Me and Sylvia love watching documentaries. So I'm a big fan of different documentary styled storytelling. And especially when it takes something you're familiar with and you know very well, like Stargate, it was a perfect example. And they do this kind of documentary style where it's kind of like a peek behind the curtain, but not. I think it's enjoyable. It's a real breaks up the monotony for me. So sorry you didn't like it. I thought it was great. Philip Guyett. Did not mean to suggest you should agree with Trek Culture's review. I was as surprised as you that they did not like it. I didn't assume that you were telling me that I needed to agree with them. I just wanted to let that be known that so many times people come out of the woodwork and go, well, Trek Culture said this about this thing. And it's like, that's wonderful for Trek Culture. They got it wrong. They don't always get things right. These are factual things, not objectively, like subjective things. So, I don't know. Just because they have so many more subscribers than us doesn't mean it's fine. Sorry, that just hit a nerve tonight a little bit. And it's a shame because I love Trek Culture. I love Sean. I love everybody over there. I love their content when I watch it. I just wish I had, or Trekyards had the backing and the funding that they have, because we could do so much more. But just a thing. Plus, we've been around twice as long as them. But whatever. Briscoe Rob, the girl with the shaved head bothers me. That would be Ortegas, and I'm sorry that she bothers you. I think she's a fantastic character. Philip, I was pleased to see that you enjoyed it. Looking forward to your full review. Yeah, well, the edited review, like I said, will be out tomorrow on this channel at about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch it. It's about 20 minutes long. And then at 4 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, we do the complete breakdown and review of like each scene and talk about it. And that's usually around 2 hours. So sometimes 2.5 hours. Joe Torres, hey, I good with seeing Star Trek Mothra. Thought it was pretty cool. Donnie is here. Anton Smith, Cap, how does the Strange New World documentary episode stack up with Lower Decks documentary episode? Trusted Sources, I think is the name of that episode. Having a hard time remembering specifically what that episode was like. I need to go back and rewatch it, but I really enjoyed this one, so I also really enjoyed that one. I think it would stack up fairly well. I'd probably, if I had to go with my gut right now, I'd probably say the Lower Decks one was better, but I think that's because it's a shorter runtime, so it was more concise. But I could be wrong. And Time Shepherd is here. Greetings. Rich Klein, $15. Thank you so much. That is an awesome super chat. Much appreciated. Always good to see Captain Axel Foley on Thursday nights. Controversial episode, only 40 minutes long. What did they edit out? And they were afraid to air. TOS would not have pulled any punches. That's interesting. Yeah, I did notice the runtime was 40 minutes. I didn't really consider the fact that they might have taken something out. I'm trying to think what storylines might have been more impacted. Maybe Ortegas? Probably Ambanga, maybe? I don't know. Morrow says, side question, thoughts about Alien Earth. Haven't watched it yet. Somebody already mentioned that. I'm going to wait till it's all out, and then me and Sylvia are going to watch it. So I haven't got into it yet, but I've heard good things. I guess from 1980, MASH did a couple of documentary episodes. Grey's Anatomy did a musical episode. I find it fine to give us different angles of storytelling. I 1000% agree with you. And yes, the MASH ones were really well done as well. Fleet Paw, he's waiting till it's all out, and then he and his wife will watch it. Indeed. Gary Kyle says, I like Trekyards better. Hi, Captain. You're just sucking up, but thank you. Appreciate that. And hello, Gary. How you doing? Sean says, Ortegas is my fourth favorite non-Captain Trek character, so to each their own. Absolutely. Absolutely to each their own. Nobody's going to agree on everything. Donnie says, my good friend and fellow YouTuber and Trekkie, Jesse Gender, called this week's Strange New Worlds a failure to Star Trek, and I agree. More power to those, including you, Cap, who enjoyed it. See, I don't understand. Why is it a failure? I guess I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I should jump on the bandwagon and hate this episode because all of the qualified and important Star Trek YouTubers hate it. So, boo. I thought it sucked balls. Negativity. It let down the franchise. Although I can't do that because it was fucking great. I thought it was a fantastic episode. And controversially, one of my favorite episodes of Strange New Worlds. So, I guess I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's no wonder that people respect Jesse Gender and Trek culture above Trekyards. It's amazing. It really is. Anyway. Ray Ricks, 20 pounds. Good to see you, Ray. Thank you so much. That is amazing super chat. Hey, just jumping on the stream, I think, for the first time for a solo. It's really late for you, or really early for you, as the case may be. So, yeah. This is an episode that had a good premise that was handled poorly. The ends up being one of Strange New World's worst episodes, especially similar episodes from BR, I don't know what that is, or SG1. Yeah, SG1 was good. I disagree. Fuck's sakes, here I go again. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a fun episode, and I don't understand why everybody hates it. I feel like I'm standing alone in a sea of negativity. Maybe I need to rethink. I've seen it 3 times as well. I need to rethink my place in this world and as in the Star Trek YouTubing community, because apparently I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'll just shut up. I'll just read your comments about this now and not get into it too much. So, Hypno Amber, I also agree with her to a point. Jesse Gender, okay. Philip throws in $5. Thank you so much, Philip. Much appreciated. Terrence Childs, I am not a Star Trek YouTuber, but just a fan voicing his opinion. Indeed. Gary Kyle, I liked it. Good storytelling is important to the dynamic of Star Trek. Rich Klein, this episode is not a failure. They used a different format to tell an important story. It is good that different YouTubers have different opinions. Remember, infinite diversity and infinite combinations. Joe Brown, I know there's very little info on it. Any thoughts on the possibility of Scott Bakula coming back to Star Trek and Foundation of the Federation series? It would be cool to see it. I don't know how exciting it could be following a fucking president around, but, whatever. It'd be cool to see. I don't think it's one of those things that was just mentioned, and now it's like everybody's talking about it. But not many thoughts on it right now. Fleet Paw, hey, Trekyards, this guy, Rich Klein, fucking gets it. Why can't everyone else? I'm not saying anybody's wrong for not liking it. I don't understand how people couldn't like this episode. And why qualified professionals in the Star Trek field, such as Trek Culture and Jesse Gender, have said that it's a failure. I just don't get it. I don't understand the mindset, but oh well, whatever. BJ, $2. You're not alone. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hypno Amber, I've seen other YouTubers who loved it, so it's definitely dividing the Trek world, as any good piece of media will do. So, Chuck Jones, both Battlestar Galactica and The Expanse did documentary episodes. I don't see what the big deal is. They did a good job. I totally agree. Ray Ricks, £5. Why do you need to rethink? Diversity of opinion is important. You've met me, Ray. You know that I don't like awkward silences. You know that I don't like being one of the only voices in a sea of other voices that has a differing opinion, because I'm not cool enough to have a differing opinion. It's like Homer Simpson. I'm not cool enough to be different, to wear a pink shirt. So that's all. I just love when people come into my first reaction and be like, Trek Culture hated it, or Jesse Gender thinks it's a failure. It's like, okay, wonderful for them. I don't care. I'm giving my thoughts. Hold on a second. I got a message popped up here. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So I'm just being self-defeating. I'm just being me right now in this moment. Sometimes I'm like, I don't care what anybody says. Fuck them. This is the way I'm doing it. And other times I'm like, nobody likes my opinion, so I'm just going to shut the fuck up and just kind of, fall into a corner somewhere. All right, back at it. Here we go. Lord of Quaggas, you are allowed to have a non-conforming opinion. Oh, I know. I'm well aware. I sometimes, fuck, here we go. Sometimes I'm totally, fuck everybody. This is my opinion. But other times I'm like, I must be wrong, because everyone else who are better than us because they have way more subscribers hated it. So maybe they have more subscribers because they have the right opinion and I'm an idiot. That's kind of the view that I have right now. So anyway. Let's see. Omatic. I love the episode. Fuck. Stop with the gut. Not you, Omatic. Anyways, there's just other messages popping up. Fans were clamoring for more Star Trek episodes, and now they're complaining. LOL. Can't make this shit up. It's very true. Terrence Childs, let's not have Captain Foley go on a rant, please. Don't go into a mad rant. I'll go into a fucking rant if I want to, Terrence, and I don't feel like ranting necessarily at this moment. So, The Dead Man throws in $5. Modern politics and modern vernacular aside, decent episode. There you go. Thank you, Dead Man. That's awesome. Marco, I like this episode a lot. There are far worse episodes this season. I don't know about that, but Fleetpaw, Star Trek fans are like kindergartners. They want all the things, and when they get them, they don't want them anymore. Gary Kyle, people can't imagine the dilemma that a crew must overcome in Star Trek or real life Navy. Yeah. Lord of Quaggas, I guess. I liked parts and I didn't like other parts. It was a mixed bag for me, but still on a more positive end. Yeah, that's good. Time Shepherd, we stand with you, Captain. Thank you, Time Shepherd. Appreciate that. Sean, this episode was better than 3/4 of Discovery. I don't get the hate either. It was a solid Trek. It was definitely better than a lot of Discovery, yes. Most of Discovery, maybe. The Dead Man, Starfleet are colonizers is my criticism. Yes, well, that was the documentarian point. Like, what is the difference between a federation and an empire? So, eh, I'm not qualified to talk on that kind of stuff. I don't think. Like, I'm just not smart enough to talk about that. So, Hypno Amber. Anyway, I gotta run and help my mom. She's still recovering from back surgery, and I'm behind on everything today. I'm definitely going to make time to chat tomorrow. Have a good night, Captain. Good night, Hypno Amber. Thank you. Live long and prosper. Great to see you. BJ says Nurse Chapel looked great in her away team armor. She looks great in everything. Rich Klein, $10. We stand with Captain Foley. Aw, thanks, Rich. Much appreciated. Gary Kyle, you're a good captain. You're a cool guy. I would share a beer with. Aw, that'd be amazing. And I've met a lot of the people that have watched Trekyards, and I've become friends with a lot of them. And yeah, beer and chicken wings win me over every time. Fleet Paw, we love you, Foley. Not really caring what anyone else thinks, bro. I know. I'm just having a day. Yesterday was really bad, mentally, but you know, it is what it is. Ray Ricks, £10. My reasoning is that the documentary was exploring a complex issue which the episode did not give enough time to explore, and for Ortega's brother to resolve his own bias. Yeah, I can see that. I think it explored a complex issue very well doing it this style, because it kind of gave you bullet points as to what the fuck was happening. I think it would have been a fine regular episode, but somebody mentioned earlier that they couldn't keep track of things because of the documentary style of this one, whereas for me it was the exact opposite. Because it was edited a specific way in this doc style, I was paying more attention, I think, because everything was so, I don't want to say jarring, but it was so off the norm for a typical episode that I was more alert, I think, because the different camera angles and things were shaking things up so to the point where it's like, yeah, like this is new. This is something new. This is like a peek behind the curtain, as I've said. So I think I got more out of it because of the documentary style, but I can understand why the editing and stuff would make that more difficult for some people. Like, I get it. But for me, I think it pulled in my focus a lot better. Cryptic Spider-Man, I mean, the UFP is a democratic government, and they don't have a singular emperor. So the Federation doesn't count as a traditional empire like Austria, Hungary, or Germany. Ray Ricks, I had no problem with the style. The Dead Man, $5. I stand for Captain Foley, specifically when he shows up in an Adam Savage episode. Thank you, Dead Man. Yes. Can't wait. There's going to be an episode of Tested coming out soon where they talk to Chris Huseman from Tommy about the D7. So yeah. Fleetpaw Swiftback, $10. Money, because why not? Also, I really don't care what the other YouTubers think. Want to know why? I don't give them money, because I don't care what they think. I give you money, so I care what you think. Thank you, Fleetpaw. Thank you. Lord of Quaggas, I guess. Thoughts on the wireless mind meld? It's not the first fucking time, and it's not going to be the last. They've done this kind of shit before. It's how Spock was also communicating with V'ger, for Christ's sakes. So, no real issue with it. It was just innately tapping into his natural tendencies as a Vulcan. I think that was fine, and the amplifier thing was cool. I really liked the thing that was on Spock and then later Uhura. I think that was really neatly designed. No issue with that. I mean, it's happened before. It'll happen again. There's a few instances in TOS where it's the same sort of vibe going on with that. So, not a problem for me. Fleetpaw, I simp for Captain Foley because I've been to his house. Okay. Cryptic Spider-Man. I had a thing for found footage like films as a kid, so this just reminded me of that. The style doesn't really bother me. Yeah. The Dead Man, Voyager. Yes. Did I say Voyager? Voyager 6. I should have said Voyager 6 if I said Voyager. But I don't know. My dyslexic brain does stupid shit sometimes. So did I not say Voyager? I thought I said Voyager. I don't fucking know. Cryptic Spider-Man, man, I feel old now. I remember when I was first here, I was 15. Now I'm almost 20. Jeez. Holy shit. You've been here for 5 years? Trekyards will be around 11 years in October. So you've been here almost half the time. And yeah, Cryptic, I haven't seen your name pop up on a live for quite a while either. Fleet Paw, holy crap, a wild Cryptic Spider-Man appeared. Gary Kyle, excited to hear your thoughts on the new Voyager game. I'm excited for this for it. Sounds cool. Yeah, that'll be Monday. Monday we're doing a live at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time talking about the game. I am also excited for it. We did a live yesterday on the Star Trek Infected game, which I'm also excited for, but not as excited for. So Monday will be a fun discussion. So if you can join us for that live, please do. Ray Rex, £2. They do say Mothra was projecting a psionic field. Yes. Lord of Quaggas, I've been a viewer since 2017, I think. Damn! I don't recognize the name. You must not comment, especially on lives. But that's amazing. Thank you. The Dead Man, you said V'ger. I was just backing you up. Okay, thank you. Because sometimes I say something and somebody will be like, you said this, and I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm like, yes, you did. It's my brain. It's dumb. And reading your comments sometimes, especially late at night or when I'm tired, my dyslexia tends to go into high gear, and I misread things. So I apologize. DUI Champ, hey buddy, I'm from Pennsylvania and I'm vacationing in Hollywood, drunk as a motherfucker and driving through the Hollywood Hills. Don't drive when you're drunk. I mean, your name is DUI Champ, driving under the influence champ. But no, don't do that. Don't do that. And don't talk about it on a live. I don't want anything happening to you or anyone else, so don't be doing that shit. Fleet Paw, I have been around for like 7 years, since 2008 or 2019. I don't remember. I don't remember either. But I'm glad you're here. BJ, I think I might have been here since 2017 or maybe 2018, the disco era. Disco stew. Lord of Quaggas, I lurk too much. Well, stop it. Get your name out there. Talk to me. Talk to me, Goose. Marco, okay, 2015 for me when I first found your channel. Amazing. Cryptic Spider-Man, yeah, I first showed up during the lives for Lower Decks episode season 2, so it's been a while since then. Yes, but I do recognize your name. And it's funny, you get so many regulars all the time, and then they disappear, and you don't even realize it. You do lives for years, and you don't realize that their name's not there. And then one day, they show up again, and you're like, holy, how long has it been since you've been here? It's funny. The Dead Man, Brain? Brain? What is Brain? Christopher Batto, I've been around since 2016, I think. Yeah, you've been around quite a while, Joseph. I know that. Fleet UI Champ, I hope you aren't driving while you yourself are under the influence. I'll airlock you for that shit. UI champ, hey buddy, completely sober and driving sideways through the Hollywood Hills. Last night's episode was great. Good sci-fi. Now I'm looking for Bruce Willis's house. I don't know if I believe you about the not drinking, but just be safe. And Bruce Willis doesn't even know who he is anymore, so don't be, yeah. Just be safe. Don't do anything stupid. Joseph Barbato, fact files, mission briefings, the good old times. Or the good old days, yeah. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Message Spock? None that I am conscious of. Except, of course, we need more fact files. Yeah. Oh, the good old days. Donnie, my number one mockumentary is also my number one Disney show, High School Musical, the series. Sure. Its final season remains my number two streaming show of 2023 between Power Rangers, Cosmic Fury, and the final season of Star Trek Pickard. Cryptic Spider-Man. Also, as an older man, I'll confess to a sin you might not even remember. It was actually me who created the Captain Foley and Sleep Puff back just for funny banter at the time. I remember a Captain Foley. Didn't I block you under that one? I blocked some people because some people come in here and be assholes, and I don't have a Fleet Paw, and it's fine. Domino Gamma, I'm still here. LOL. Good. Cryptic Spider-Man, I was also behind the Reezy email of I Am Brave. The Reezy email. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Gary Kyle, I do watch, but don't super chat. Sorry, I don't trust Google with my bank account. I'm paranoid. LOL. Fair. Fair enough. If you can PayPal, if that works somehow, we can PayPal. But yeah, you don't have to support. It's fine. It's all good, man, and I understand that. UI Champ had to check on my Trekyards buddy. The internet is asking where Will Wheaton's post-Star Trek show went. I post, fuck that guy, listen to Trekyards and Trek culture, way more substantive. Nice. Joseph Barbato, do miss the fact files. You can really tell the enthusiasm and the detailed research that went into them. Yeah, I enjoyed the fuck out of those. I enjoyed making them, researching them, writing them, but they just didn't pay off for us. So it was one of those things we had to, had to go by the wayside. Fleet Paw, I always knew it was you, Cryptic. I could never prove it, though. It's true, he did say that to me a few times. Time Shepherd throws in 10 Australian dollars. Thank you so much. This is undeniably the best Trek channel. I used to be called Renee, by the way. I've been lurking for many years. Renee. Was it just Renee? Well, thank you so much for the compliment about being the best Trek channel. Much appreciated. I wish more people thought like you, because I would like more subscribers. I'd like to get 100,000 at some point before I die. So, but yeah, thank you for being here. Dominion Gamma, not sober, still here, but being responsible. Love Trekyards. Thank you so much. Fleet Paw, you airlocked Foley. I airlocked the parody of me. Oh, okay. I don't remember. Cryptic Spider-Man. I don't recall if I was blocked, but those were backup accounts, so this one stayed untouched. Man, those were some goofy times for me. Seems like an odd thing to do, but it's all good, man. All good. Tom Shepard gave me a little wave and a smile. Appreciate that. And Donnie says, he's talking to other people in my chat. Of course he is. Yeah. Give me a second. All good. I need a drink. Cryptic Spider-Man, yeah, you got it right on the money, Fleetpaw. I remember I was going to expose myself, pervert, but I forgot to do it and didn't show up for a couple of years. Oh, man. It's all good. It's all good. Forgiven. All is forgiven. Maybe not forgotten, but forgiven. Joseph Barbato, you know who I haven't seen in a while? Good Tea, Nice House. It's been a while, but they have popped up occasionally. There was a pretty big gap, and then they popped up on one of my late night lives like a couple months ago with one or two comments. And yeah, haven't been back since, so. Excuse me. Gary Kyle, is there a possibility of bringing back mission briefings with more fan-made ships? It's so fun to watch. Well, the fan-made ships are Trekyards original episodes. The mission briefings, it might be possible, especially when there's no new Trek on. If there's no new Trek on, we could probably find more of a time to film some stuff like that, which basically is what we do every Saturday. Every Saturday, we're looking at a different ship. So sometimes they're game ships. Sometimes they're, ships that were designed for, like, are similar to facet designs, but we're in games like Star Trek Legacy or something. So we still kind of do that, but I don't know. We'll see. Everything's possible. If we could get more people on our Patreon, so we're getting more Patreon every month, then we'd have the flexibility to make more of the content we want to make as opposed to the content we need to make to get revenue. Because we need to hit certain goals and metrics for us to be able to live as it is. So we need to get things that people will watch. Whereas we love fact files, we love mission briefings, we love that kind of stuff, but they just weren't getting the views nor the monetization, the AdSense. So if we could get the numbers we need to hit on Patreon, so we had a guaranteed monthly income, yes, we would absolutely do a lot of the fun stuff that we'd like to do and experiment a little bit more. But as of right now, we just can't. So I'm sorry. Fleetpaw, it's a good thing the statute of limitations, oh my god, on tomfoolery is only 2.5 years, or to the airlock you'd go. Donnie gives this a 5 out of 10. Boo. Cryptic says, I think I did it to imitate the mirror universe in the chat, and also because the chat was entertaining because of y'all. I apologize if it was an inconvenience at the time. It probably got me in a bad mood and annoyed me, and I thought somebody was mocking me, and I can't stand that. When we had some people that come in under the name of James T. Kirk and all this shit, and they make little snide remarks and comments, and you can tell they're trolling. So I thought that's probably what it was. So that's why you got kicked. So the dead man, $5. Captain, in my opinion, Onion, I think IPEC has gotten good at Spock mannerisms. I think it's going to be hard to find Bones. I think Ethan Peck has gotten good with Spock mannerisms. Yeah, I think he makes a fantastic Spock. I think he's way better than Zachary Quinto, my personal opinion. And finding a Bones, I mean, Carl Urban did a fantastic job with it. Is it Carl Urban? I think it's Carl Urban. It's either Carl Urban or Keith Urban, but I think Keith Urban's a fucking country singer. Keith Urban should fucking die, get out of the public zeitgeist, because I always get them confused. It's Carl Urban who did McCoy. He did a fantastic job. I think if you find the right person, you'll be able to get a perfect McCoy. So, yeah. But thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. Marley McClay. The episode touched upon thoughts I've had for years. Are the Federation peacemakers or warmongers, given most starships are heavily armed? Enjoyed this episode despite me not liking docu-film style. That's interesting. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I do like this documentary style format, so I really enjoyed it. But that's interesting that you don't enjoy the style or the format, but you enjoyed the episode. That's good. I like that. Cryptic says Captain Foley was based on an episode of Lower Decks where Mariner made a film in the holodeck, and the guy there was, "Hi, I'm X." It was supposed to be blamed on Boimler. I don't know. I was weird as a teen. We were all weird as teens. No worries. Donnie says, I love Lower Decks documentary episode. Cool. Dark Thunder, the idea of starships being armed as warships reminds me of the old Trek song, "We come in peace, shoot to kill, shoot to kill. Come in peace, shoot to kill them." Klingons off the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. I don't remember this. I do remember the song, but I can't get the melody right now. But yes, Carl Urban was excellent. Carl, yeah, you go. Keith and Carl are cousins. Are they for reals? I don't believe that for a second. Cryptic says, "Oh yeah, my intention wasn't to mock you. It was just to play into the idea of evil Foley and the Fleet Paw. I even made a mirror version of me too. But yeah, man, I've missed these talks." Well, you're welcome back anytime. Let us know you're being a little sneaky bastard next time, and we'll play along with it. But when we don't know and we kind of get, sideswiped with it, we're gonna take action because trolls are a real thing that do show up occasionally. So. Donnie, for what it's worth, Beyond is my #1 Kelvin timeline movie. It should be everybody's. It's the best Kelvin timeline movie. Cryptic says, has there been news of JJ Trek 4 lately? Because I've been wanting to see the Enterprise A in action. Yes, apparently they're working on developing 2 Star Trek films right now. And this is recently, as of yesterday or the day before, ever since the Skydance merger with Paramount. So, yes, apparently, but again, I'll believe it when I'm sitting in the theater with fucking popcorn bucket in my hand, because how many times have we heard about a Star Trek 4? But apparently it is on their priority list of things to get done, and yes, I would love to see another Kelvin film. As much as I don't always like the Kelvin verse, it's one that I think, especially with so much time having passed, like you could easily just go into Monster Maroon era with these guys, and it would be fine. The pug is dreaming. And I don't know what about, but it looks like she's, having a rough time. Dreaming pug. Fleet Paw, haven't most of the Kelvin actors aged out of the roles, though? No. I just said. The 4th movie could be them in like Star Trek 2 era, where like, I'm 50, I'm old. Kirk was complaining that he was fucking 50. I'm 51. I'm not fucking complaining I'm old. Jesus Christ. But no, they've aged 10 years now, which you could definitely say was more in universe, and you can put them in the movie era with like a new Enterprise. Yes, we got the Enterprise A at the end of the last film, which we never got a chance to enjoy. But this could be the Enterprise B, which is actually the refit version, because the timeline's obviously different. The ship got destroyed. That's fine. This is the Enterprise B. Now a refit version in the Kelvin style, I think would be interesting. So no, I think they have not aged out of their roles at all. Cryptic, oof, I'll keep that in mind, but I got the youth and energy to make completely new accounts just to play this legendary Captain Foley again. Oh, you don't have the youth and energy. That's fair. And Fleetpaw says, yeah, that was sent before you said Monster Maroon era. God damn it, Fleetpaw. You need to listen. You're fired. Out of a cannon. Into a brick wall. It's fine. It's all fine. It's all good now. Here. Everything's great. She's awake now, just for the record. Donnie, I don't mind one more Kelvin movie, to be honest. Or two, for that matter. You can't fire me. Watch me. Watch me take away your wrench. I could even block you from this account, motherfucker. Can't fire you. Oof. Told you to airlock. Told you to airlock yourself, Leepa. You don't even pay me. I don't pay you, but I could take away your moderation wrench. I could block you from these lives. And I do pay you. I pay you in friendship. Because you know me on a more personal level than the regular people's. Because you've been to my house and ignored every nook and cranny. Anyway, Cryptic says, hey, I just remembered. One time I said Foley can't touch you, and he timed me out for like 3 minutes for the laughs. Don't test him, Fleet. Nah, Fleet Paw's good. He's a good shit when he's here. He's just never here anymore. I understand people have stuff going on, so I don't hold it against you. But man, you used to be here all the time, firing on all cylinders. Now you're a V8 firing on one cylinder. No disrespect. Just saying. Anyway, yeah, so like I said, I enjoyed this episode. I'm sorry that some people didn't. Some people thought it was negative. Some people didn't like it. I didn't think it'd be so divisive. Divisive, that's the word. Derisive? Divisive? I didn't think it'd be split the community like it has. But apparently, yeah. I mean, after talking to people and hearing that they don't like documentaries and this wasn't the style for them, I get it. I get it. I just didn't expect it. And to hear such world-renowned experts, people that are way more qualified to talk about Star Trek than I or Sam, you know, people like Trek Culture and Jesse Gender, to hear that they don't like it, well then, my opinion doesn't really matter now, does it? Tis what it is. Joseph Barbato, I'd invite myself over just to have that Crown Royal Apple Captain Special Reserve. Hey, yeah, there you go. So far, Hegemony Part 2 is my strongest. That's my least favorite episode of this season, Donnie. That's funny. We're exactly flipped. But that's cool. Idic. Infinite diversity and infinite combinations. 45 of you here, 52 likes. That's amazing, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already. But I'm calling it there. This has been a much longer one than I intended. And that's good. Time just melted away. I've seen people come back like Cryptic and other people. Sean. Oh, Sean was here. Yeah, he hasn't been around for a while. So to see people come back was good. It definitely felt like a good night. So just remember, everyone, the true star of the show is the Enterprise. This is true. How do you feel about Spock bouncing from woman to woman while technically still being engaged to T'Pring? Well, I think the engagement's not technically off, but off. But I don't mind it. It doesn't really bother me. If you can get it, get it. Especially La'an. I mean, fucking Chapel and La'an. Like, dude, if you can get it, get it. Much respect for Spock. Donnie says, I must go now. Thank you, Cap, and I'll see you again tomorrow afternoon. Till then, remember, no matter which side you're on, we're all human beings. I love you all. Live long and prosper. See you later, Donnie. Joseph Barbato, I'm starting to wonder if the Patel situation will get resolved this season. I'm sure it will. We have 3 episodes left, so. Lord of Guagas, bye, 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 bye. Good night. Thanks for the stream. Thanks, Cap. Spock and T'Pring, they are on a break. Russ from Fred's voice. Cheers. All right. Thank you guys so much. Please, if you're able to join us tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our complete review and breakdown, please do so. We would appreciate seeing you guys. Even you, Cryptic. But you probably have a life and a job, and you don't have the time to be live at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, would be my guess. So, more power to you. If you want to watch it later after the fact, please do so. Or watch the edited review. It's much shorter, and that'll be out tomorrow afternoon. So, anyways, until then, I'm Captain Foley, and he's Captain Foley, and I'm Captain Foley, and that's Lola. And the one back there is Precious, and there's Fleet Paw out there, and a bunch of other people. And I love you all. So until next time, see you guys later. Peace.